nominees for the Democrat, nominee for the Republican, and the winner of that contest. What do you think? Your best guess.
It'll probably be Trump and Biden, and that is exactly what I think nobody wants. So I don't know if you've seen the polling, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is polling extremely high for an independent candidate. Like Trump and Biden are both around like in the low to mid 30s, and RFK was around like 24, 25%, which at this stage is a lot, because most independents never. And I think there's been several political realignments in U.S. history. And right now we're in the middle of the seventh. You're seeing people who were formerly, on opposite sides now starting to come together because of lunacy that's happening on the fringes of both the left and the right. I don't know if you've ever watched Bill Maher. He has a show on HBO. For years, he was a very much, a guy on the left, fervent Democrat, and more now he's, rallying against the left because of what they're doing. And you're seeing this, and you're also starting to see Republicans on the far right who are questioning why we're supporting Israel, and they were always very staunch supporters of Israel. So you're seeing an isolationist right start to develop. They don't want to support Ukraine. You're starting, so how this is all going to pan out, I don't know. But if there has been an opportunity for someone not from the two major parties to do well, this is the year for it. The only problem is the Electoral College, that you have to win states, not just, do well in polling. So even if, RFK were to get 30% of the vote, that still might lead to 0 electoral votes. The question is, who's he going to take more away from? Is he going to take more votes away from Trump or Biden? And this is another good example of the whole realignment. He's a Kennedy. Kennedys have always been Democrats, but he has explicitly left the Democrats. So is he going to take more Democrats with him or more Republicans with him? And I've seen data kind of on both. So, and I think he may not be the only independent. I've said for a couple months now, if Trump wins the nomination, I believe Elizabeth Cheney is going to run as an independent just to screw over Trump. That she hates Trump so much. So she'll present herself as a conservative alternative that conservatives could vote for in good faith and not vote for Trump. And given the last 2 presidential elections, in a lot of swing states, you're looking at very small numbers of votes that could have turned the state one way or the other. And a factor like that in the election, where even 1 or 2% of the electorate can vote for someone else, can have huge implications. And there are more and more Republicans also now starting to stand up to Trump. The governor of Iowa just said they're not supporting Trump. He has no potential to win in the general election, which I think is probably true. The candidates running for president on the Republicans probably don't have much of a chance, but they're now starting to openly talk about the fact that he is losing mental acuity. This is also something that the Democrats have been bringing up. There was just another incident yesterday where Joe Biden didn't appear to know where he was. And if Republicans were complaining that Joe Biden was too old, you can't then elect a 78-year-old guy as president. It's kind of hypocritical. So it'll be interesting.
And when the dust settles, so you're basically predicting that there's going to be potentially a third-party candidate or more that's really going to skew potentially be a deciding factor in the election. But once the dust settles, do you think it's just a coin toss between whether it's Donald Trump or Biden?
I think that if it's Biden and Trump, even with a major third-party candidate, Biden would probably still win. The only caveat I would put to that is that if someone like RFK could get enough electoral votes, let's say he can actually win some states, you could wind up in a situation quite easily where no one has a majority in the Electoral College, and then it goes to the House. And in such a case, I think the Republicans will control but then again, the Republicans can't even elect a speaker because they're not unified. So this could be one of the biggest messes that we've seen in American history. I mean, this would be like the election of 1824 when John Quincy Adams was elected, where it'll be something like that, I think, or at least it has the potential.
All right. Well, that's exciting. We'll see. All right, Gary. Well, tell us where people can listen to your Everything Everywhere Daily podcast.
Wherever you're listening to this podcast, just go look for Everything Everywhere Daily. You can pretty much find me everywhere.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to having you back later on in 2024 and catching up again and seeing how we did on our predictions.